I am delighted to share on this all-important platform with the singular intent and purpose of seeing this matter through the lens of students who are usually the victims, perceived or real. Ladies and gentlemen, my responsibility this afternoon is to share my thoughts on sexual harassment, which for a lecturer, it may be a career-threatening matter, but for a student, especially a female student, it is a life-threatening issue. Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen, may I state emphatically that sexual harassment and its related issues are real and existing on this campus. Today's gathering is a testimony to that effect. Otherwise, then we would have been said to have wasted time, effort, and resources in coming here to interrogate myth. The main challenge in fighting this menace is in the fear and inability of victims to own up and report to the appropriate quarters. So far as that silence, that shade of darkness is provided by lack of exposure of it, the act will thrive because evil thrives in secrecy. Much has been said about the definition of sexual harassment, and previous speakers have also defined it and given the realities and myths of sexual harassment. Let's also listen to what some of our students had to say about sexual harassment. I had little interactions with some students to find out what students know about sexual harassment. I should say, a lot are not abreast with a technical definition. Due to that, I would like to decouple sexual harassment from sexual advance for the purpose of this discussion and touch briefly on why even sexual advance is ethically wrong. This is for the benefit of the layman or woman or the ordinary student who may not have read the sexual harassment policy of the university and may not see some romantic advances by some lecturers or senior members as sexual harassment in the very denotative meaning of harassment. The sexual harassment gets to its peak when it's time for project work, when it's getting to exams period like we are now. Madam Chair, I will not be surprised if, as I'm talking now, a student is locked up at the mercy of a lecturer and begging to be left alone. What we should know is that students really talk a lot. And I'm saying this because they will always feel comfortable to speak to their fellow students. Prior to me becoming a student leader, I've had people share their experiences with me. As we said today, we are not going to talk about the real issues or what students have shared with us, but some experiences that they've said to us. To some, they got their sexual harassment encounter when they approached their lecturers for an assessment. They thought they performed better. To others, it was when a lecturer requested to see them after a class. Regarding sexual advances, these may not come with any threat or blackmail, but in what appears like a genuine interest to date a student. Irrespective of whether the interest is genuine or not, it is ethically wrong. The student is compromised in advance because of the power dynamics. It has been explained earlier by the first speaker. Most students give in to lecture advances due to fear or out of respect. It's because of the power relations, and the policy is also clear on that. Sexual harassment is not skewed to students only. I would also plead that if you're a lecturer and a student is harassing you per the definition given, or giving gestures you think are disturbing, please and please and please again, try and report. Yes, it's funny. We might think that we'll handle it on our own way. We might think that we can deal with it. But in so doing, or in handling it, you might end up finding yourself in bed with that student. And that is very problematic. Also, students have perceptions about lecturers. They have these perceptions based on the reputation lecturers have built for themselves over the years. For instance, we have lecturer A, lecturer B. Lecturer A is known to be a very disciplined lecturer. All students know him. Well, you know that if I don't study, I won't pass that course. And no matter what that lecturer does, unless I go through the appropriate courses to pass his paper. So students will go every length, will study very hard to pass that paper. And sometimes you hear them say, even if I get a C or D, I'm okay, because they know they are getting it right and out of their own words, their own sweat. But we have lecturer B, who everybody knows that if I go to his office, talk to him, open my legs to him, I'll get it, even if I don't deserve it. So such a student, even if she gets a B, she's not satisfied because she thinks that she could have done better by seducing the lecturer, by harassing the lecturer. And how did that come about? It's based on what our predecessors have told us about that particular course or about that particular lecturer. So with that reputation, I'll go every length, give him what I want to get what I want. I'll plead that our lecturers should be very professional and ethical in their dealings with students. We always complain about nurses and how they treat patients. We complain about how other professions are not being ethical. As we do so, let us also remember that we ourselves need to be professional in our chosen profession. The chairperson, colleague students, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to draw attention to the fact that we need to also give students confidence in the institutions and bodies that work on sexual harassment issues. The single largest constituency of people in this university is the student constituency, on whose behalf I serve as representative on the sexual harassment committee. If the students, who are mostly the victims in this issue, have just one representative on such crucial committee, it erodes their confidence level to some extent, as the other members are largely perceived as co-senior members of which they are alleged perpetrators. And so, as the vice president of the SRC and the SRC representing the student front, I must not fail to draw attention to this appeal for an addition or a balance. Yes, there is a grassroots representative on it, there's an SRC rep on it, but at least we need a balance of the student representative on the board. I must also call for collective efforts towards awareness creation, sensitization, and rendering services for victims. I am very much aware that last year, the Women's Commissioner, Ms. Faustina Mahama, initiated a peer council project with a counseling center, and delegation was sent to KN University to study how their own is working. I would like to call for synchronization of all efforts geared towards resolving awareness creation, sensitization, and rendering of services to students and victims in this regard. I will end by saying that we are very fortunate as a university that UCC was not investigated on the issue of sex for grade. I believe a second chance is given to us, especially those that we have appetite for such advances. It is an opportunity for us to get things right, so that should there be an investigation here, it will be said, we went, we investigated, and caught none. Thank you very much.